Hi everyone, this is Laura Lee Collet. You're having lunch with Laura today. We, I am celebrating my birthday this month, and the big day is tomorrow. So before I show you what we're going to make, I wanted to share with you two handmade cards from some close friends. So let me switch you here, and this is just so appropriate, the hippie van with all the flower power here. And that was made by my friend that lives in North Carolina, Patty. And I just thought it was adorable. And then our mutual friend, Jacqueline, made this one for me that I just think is beautiful. And I had one more, and I think I didn't bring it in with me. So I'll have to show you that next week and tell you what a birthday I had. The set I'm going to be using today is from the Sweetest Christmas suite. And with it, you get several different things, along with the dies and the stamp set. You get ribbon, some beautiful designer series paper, sequins, and then I didn't get this paper. This is the glitter paper. So I'm all about glitter, but I already had some, so I didn't get that one. So let's look at what the stamp set looks like. The stamp set has two candy canes, a little die where you can fit a real one of the larger candy canes through there, and a lot of good Christmas sayings and sentiments. Here are some samples, and be sure to pay attention because they really do some great samples in the catalogs. And it's an idea book too to give you good ideas on what to make. So let me give a shout out, first of all, to Lynn Dunn. She is a fellow demonstrator, and I saw this on one of her newsletters that was just adorable. She took a piece of designer series paper and made a gift card holder. Now, I'm not going to show you the gift card holder today. You'll have to come back next week to see that. But she called this a one-sheet wonder. And a one-sheet wonder is when you use one piece of designer paper, or you make your own out of an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, cut it in pieces, and make a bunch of cards with that one sheet. So Lynn used a piece of designer paper for this. So this was the leftover, the cut-off part from this card. Well, not this paper, but this was the cut-off triangle that I'm going to show you how to do. And then on the one we're doing today, I'm going to put a little sentiment there. And then the inside uses a strip that was left over with a cute little candy cane wishes and mistletoe kisses. So I put some mistletoe on the envelope. Now, to make this card, of course, you're going to need the stamp set, the dies, which have the two candy canes, one going one way and one the other. So that's nice because you can see how I crisscrossed them, where you couldn't do that if it was they were both going the same way. Now here is the little piece that cuts out. It has two holes that it cuts, and you're able to slide a pencil, a pen, like I said, a candy cane through there, and it puffs out. There are mistletoe pieces, and then there's this diagonal grid that is really cute. And in one of the pictures, they used it, or they made it so that you could use both the negative and the positive of it. Okay, isn't that cute? I love it. And let me show you what I did not have the stamp set and dies that Lynn used, so I'm substituting. And I'm using the Designer Series paper, or DSP, that's from the Sweet Candy Cane suite. And the first thing I did was I cut it at 5.5, oops, Ziggy, by 12. So you can get two gift card holders out of one sheet of paper. Then I scored it. Let me see if it's easier to see on this side. I scored it at 4 inches and at 8 inches. And then you have to make the decision about which side you want to be the front and which to be the inside. And it does not matter, maybe it's my left-handed brain, but it does not matter if I do not use a piece of scrap computer paper or something like that to do a sample of. I will mess it up every time. So use a piece of I happen to have some 11 by, or 8.5 by 14 legal paper. So I'll use that. I whacked off 2 inches to make it 12 inches long, and that's what I did my sample on. So when you decide which side you want, you're going to put that side facing up. So this is what I want on the inside. And if you have a pattern that you cannot see the little score line, I'm just going to crease it real well there, because what you're going to do is put the corner here and the fold in your little cutting track on your Stampin' Trimmer. So I'm going to put that right there. That's my scoring blade, and here's my cutting blade. Okay, so this is what we're going to use today, and this is what we'll use next week. So you have to come back, okay? Next Thursday at 12. So I'm going to set that aside. You're also going to need, now I use Garden Green for this, 8.5 by 5.5. You're going to need a 4 by 5.5, 5.25, I'm sorry, 4 inches by 5.25 to go on the inside. And then I just had a scrap that I did not cut down. But this is what you're going to cut out, the little, I call it like a tray. Looks like a little serving tray, and your candy canes out of. So before we cut those, we need to stamp them. And I'm using our Stamparatus. If you don't know about this, or you've never used a positioning tool, this is fabulous. It's in the catalog, the annual catalog. It is $49, and you can go to my website at Stampin' at the Bird Nest, go to shop, and go to, I think it's under tools, and you can find it there. It is well worth the investment. Often on some of the bigger dies, it's hard to get your print in the center. This, if it doesn't do the first time, all you do is re-ink it and press it again. So let me show you how you set it up. I'm going to take my little candy canes off, and I'm going to just put them And I always like to mark it, because if you come back and want to do some more, or if you have, especially if you have a specific size, you'll know where to put it. So I've got my pencil marks there. You need to use your magnets so that it does not jump off the page and mess you up. And the way you put your plate in, it comes with 2 plates, and they slide right in these hinges. Okay? So wherever you want your image to be stamped, that's where you're going to place your stamps. And okay, now pretend that this was like a sentiment or something that I specifically had to have in a certain place. You would place it, then fold your clear plate on top and just press it down. Oops. And they stick right to it. Now you take your ink pad, and this I'm using Sweet Sorbet, and it's one of our in colors that's new this year. And I'm just going to ink that up real good. And put that down. Somebody gave me this. I think you can get them on Etsy. But anyway, it makes it easier to put enough pressure down. Okay. See how this one, I'm going to hold it up. See how it didn't come out stamped all the way? All I'm going to do is go back over it with the ink pad, re-ink the stamps, and put it back down. Let's see how it did this time. Okay, I'm still having a little bit of trouble there. So let's see if I can get it this time. Okay, there we go. Now you can also get a foam pad that goes under your little paper, grid paper, and especially for the photopolymer stamps, they don't have the cushion that these red rubber ones have. Sometimes I'll use it with the red rubber, but I think it was really designed to be used with the photopolymer, so you just have to experiment. Okay, we've stamped our candy canes, and I just take a little cloth and wipe it off. And you can see this cloth has been well loved. But now you got to agree with me. Is this the best thing you've seen since sliced bread and ice cubes that come out in the refrigerator already made? Love it. Okay, I am going to put that aside, and I'm going to close up my ink pad. And we're going to cut out our little, I'm using the designer tags. This is the one that I think looks like a serving tray. It's so cute. And we're going to cut out, I have a piece, my other piece of white here I can use to cut this out. Then I'm going to go find my candy canes, and I'm going to put them down. Remember to always use a piece of tape to hold it in place, because they will jiggle when they go through the cut and emboss machine, and it might not cut out correctly. So always use your little paper. Okay, so those are ready. This one doesn't matter as much because it doesn't have to be in a certain place. I'm not cutting that out around a sentiment or something. Oh, excuse me. So, now through the magic of TV, voila, I have cut out my candy canes, excuse me, and my tray. Now, I had already put this one down, so I didn't want to try to put the greeting there because it's up on dimensionals. I was afraid that it would get a halo around it, which is that little edge on the stamp that you don't want. And I am going to use, there's a greeting that says Christmas cheer that's in the right here on Sweet Candy Canes. It also has Merry and Bright. It's the most wonderful time of the year. So there are a lot of things to choose from. So I'm going to stamp that, and I'm going to eyeball this. Okay, perfect. I love that when that happens. But remember, if you mess up, just turn that baby over and stamp it again. Okay, now, I wanted to put this up on dimensionals. So I'm using my large dimensionals, and I'm going to put one in each corner. And I have already scored this at 4 1/4, and I've used my bone folder. But before we do that, I'm about to forget the designer series paper. So there are your candy canes. And if you were going to do it with the candy canes, you would want to place it down here. But because I wanted the stripes, I'm placing it at the top. And it's not like a layer. It is 5.5 inches this way and 4 inches this way. So you want to be sure that you're not doing it like a layer would be, or you would have to adjust that and just cut that off, okay? Now, since I'm doing the edges and they're pointy, I am going to use my liquid glue, and I'm going to go right along the edge. All around. And then you can put some in the middle if you want. And then I'm going to flip that over and put it on my paper. You don't want to get too much on the edges because when you mash it down, it will squish out. But it does allow you to move it around a little bit if you need to. Okay, so that's on there. Next, I'm going to put our little tray with our greeting. And I don't know what's happening to me, but I did a simple card last week, and I'm doing another one this week. I don't do simple very well. Okay, we're going to put that right in the middle. Put that down. Then I'm going to put my candy canes down. Now, I wanted them to crisscross, so I want to be sure that I'm not going to cover up the greeting there. So let's put some dimensionals on this. Put one in the middle if you want. So I'm going to kind of eyeball them first to make sure, see where I want it. And it's okay if it hangs off a little bit. Okay, I think I see where to go. So I'm going to pull those backs off. And Put it right there. And then I'm going to cross the other one over it. Right about there. I guess I should have left the one in the middle out, but that's okay. It makes it puff up a little bit more. Then I cut a piece, 10-inch piece of the garden green ribbon, and I'm going to do the bunny ear technique to tie this bow. So you're just going to loop it around your index fingers and then put one through the other. Actually, when I do my bows like this, rather than do the over and under Girl Scout trick, they tend to come out better. Like the little legs, this is what I call the legs, are going the right way, and otherwise I have to turn my card around and tie it upside down. I'm going to use where did I put there it is, mini glue dots. I put a little ribbon around, or a little bit of twine around there to keep it from going crazy in my drawer. And I am just going to stick, let's see, which side do I want this to be on? I think I like this side the best. See how good my bow turned out? There. And I'm going to mash it on the little glue dot, pull it up, and put it right in where the candy canes cross. All you need to do now is snip off, if they're too long, snip the legs, and there you have a cute, simple card. But we're not done yet. That was the front, and on the inside, I want to use, where did it go? Here, nope. Now I had it when it was here, when I set up a minute ago. So it's the blue people that I talk about frequently that steal things. Here it is. It wasn't over on this side, it was over here, so go figure how that happens. I'm going to clean up a little. Okay. Putting that back in there. Okay, now we're ready to do the inside. And I wanted to put that little piece of designer paper here, and I'm using the opposite side. So I'm going to put that down at the bottom, and I'm going to go ahead and use our seal for this. And put that right at the bottom. And I should have stamped first, but since I'm gluing first, we'll stamp next. And again, your Stamparatus could be used for this next step, but I am just going to wing it. And the little saying that I'm going to use for the inside says, "Candy cane wishes and mistletoe kisses." And I'm going to use the garden green ink again. Like I said, it's always a good idea to check it out. There we go. And the grid paper really comes in handy. There you go. I did it. And then the last thing we need to do is stamp our mistletoe on our card. So here's my little piece of mistletoe. And I'm going to stamp it twice. And I'm even going to stamp one right back here. So, there you have your card. Now, this was a one-sheet wonder using designer series paper, and it made a cute, simple card with the scraps that were left over. And if you want to see, I'll put both of those so you can see how I did the envelope. If you want to see how to make the gift card holder, tune in next week, 12 o'clock on Thursdays. Sometimes life gets in the way, but I try to always be here for you. So come back and enjoy lunch with Laura, and I hope you like this card as much as I did. I just think it's so cute, and it came out, and it's so much fun to make. So, thanks for joining me today. I'm getting ready to have, two of my girlfriends are taking me out for my birthday. That's tomorrow, but they're taking me to lunch as soon as I get through here. So, love y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure and come back. Bye.